What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? Rich Trapper tapping in, TNN Trap News Network, back in this thing, like cracking this thing here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use. It's that good knowledge, though. You're not finna get nobody's college, though, big dog. Rich Trapper tapping in with TNN Trap News Network. We gonna give y'all a little bit of different content, man. For those of y'all who don't know, I am a conspiracy theorist. So we finna slide over here, man. I want to give a big shout out to a channel I love to watch. It's called Sunday Cool. If you don't know about Sunday Cool, man, I really enjoy their channel. They are a podcast, man. They got this thing called Ninjas or Butterflies. If you know, you know. Don't worry about it. If you're not a fan of conspiracy theorists, it's probably not going to be for you. But the CIA secret mission to find Noah's Ark and why they hid the photos.
Thanks, kids.
I think that this is kind of dope. You feel me? So if y'all like this type of content, please let me know, and I will continue to bring y'all more. I told y'all I was going to try to start switching it up and giving y'all things outside of the box. You feel me? Like, comment, subscribe, though. We finna jump into this content. Without no further ado, let's get into it. Let's go.
Dude. Speaking of talking about what other people were talking about, this one's not as crazy, but it was still pretty crazy. That the U.S. government has a declassified document of where they're actively searching for Noah's Ark.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, wasn't it discovered or something last year? Like they...
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not last year. It was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
In Turkey, right? Or
on
where?
top where
Yeah.
the divot is on top of the mountain.
Yeah, on Mount Ararat,
And
I
two
believe.
turkeys.
Ararat.
Now, I believe that the story of Noah's Ark is definitely real. I believe all the stories in the Bible are real, honestly. And I don't think that they're real because I'm this super Bible thumper. And I'm so heavy because the Bible said. Personally, I think as a Bible, it's like a textbook written by the winner. You feel me? Because who knows? History is always documented by the winner. So who knows what really happened. But I think it's like a textbook. And it's in a book of suggestions. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know that I believe in God, but y'all can believe in what y'all want to believe in. You can believe in what you want to believe in. I just say believe in something. You feel me? But, you know, do right, be good, all that. I think that's typically just, you know, the fastest process to get to God and to get to salvation. But as far as like these stories, Noah's Ark and, you know, the rapture and all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, bro, I think that shit is history. I think that shit is, some of it is history and some of it is warnings. You feel me? So when it comes to the Noah's Ark situation, we've seen crazy that California, all of LA just burnt up. You feel me? So if I told you that was going to happen this time last year, you would be like, oh, he's crazy. All of LA just burnt up. We've seen entire cities get flooded by United States governments. Look up the city of Oscarville. That's now Lake Lanier in Georgia. A lot of things happen man-made and naturally. A Noah's Ark type flood ain't really like, that's not the most preposterous thing. You feel me?
Ararat.
On the Ark.
But yeah, this document says from 1974 to 1982, apparently a general used a U-2 spy plane to photograph Mount Ararat. And they had these pictures, and they said that the proof was inconclusive. But then all these people in this document, talks about all these scientists and stuff, like asking to declassify the photos.
Yeah.
And they refused to. Like, even, I think to this day, they still refuse to declassify the photos of, but now you can pull up images all over. But the U-2 plane, spy plane, they were like, yeah, you're not allowed to get those photos. But just know that it's inconclusive. Like, we don't think it was Noah's Ark.
Then release the photo.
Yeah, so it's like if you don't know what it is, or you don't think, like, I'm confused. That's if it's not Noah's Ark. Well, then here's the thing though. Just because it ain't Noah's Ark don't mean it's something that they want you to see. So it ain't Noah's Ark, but it's this, nigga, and you don't need to know what this is. Stay out of that business. You feel me?
They're like, okay, well, can we just look then? No,
you can't. Sorry.
So it's the same region that recently-ish got talked about.
Yeah.
Did you see the stones? Now this goes back to
the anchor stones.
Yeah, Kent Hovind. When I was like in middle school, he does like Dr. Dinoland or whatever it's called, Pensacola. Shout out to all the homeschooled kids in Florida. That was like a field trip that everyone went on. But yeah, he did a whole write-up. So it was like early 2000s he was going around talking about it. But they have those, like, I mean, the size of this room, almost monolithic stones that are perfectly bored out. Again, they're like, we don't know how they did that with chisels.
Yeah,
but
they're those anchor stones.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those?
I don't think so.
They're actually all over Florida. People
Yeah.
use them as landscaping.
Especially in
Anchor
like
stones.
Yeah.
I think I know what
Beachy
you're talking
towns.
about. Kind of like you're talking about, like they look like monoliths a little bit, like shorters.
So the whole thing, it's the whole point. It's a counterweight. So Noah's Ark didn't need to go anywhere. It just needed to float and to be stable. And so they would hang these stones off the side of a large ship as a way of keeping it level and stable.
Amazing.
Yes, like that.
You know what? I never thought about that. Noah's Ark did not need to travel. It needed to float. Because nowhere in the story does it say it went from point A to point B. It said that it just needed to be able to stay above water. That's a really good point.
Those are like old ancient anchor stones
No way.
that people literally just plop in their front yard.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
That's seriously nuts. Had no idea.
There's even a
Yeah.
theory on Noah's Ark that the center had like a well so that air, as it would go up and down, would ventilate. And so when you look at the top of that mountain, how there's a divot, they assume that that would be how it like imploded with a hole in the middle.
Dude, if we believe in like the Watcher's technology and stuff,
Yeah.
Noah probably built the ark based off of some like pretty technologically advanced stuff.
If you guys know what the Watchers are, allegedly the Watchers are a civilization of people who kind of like watch us and help us. They drop down and help create the pyramids, Stonehenge, the Seven Wonders of the World, all those type of things. Like when you go like to France and Europe or even certain parts of LA, you see like these grand architectural structures that you've never seen duplicated again. But it's crazy because these buildings are supposed to be made in like the 1700s, 15, 16, 1400s. And it's this crazy architect with these arches and these details and all this kind of stuff, like the gargoyle castles and all these crazy churches and blah, blah, blah. But the same time, people didn't have electricity or running water or all these types of things and blah, blah, blah. They say that the Watchers was the people who came down and helped those people, but somehow humanity messed up and effed up the deal with the Watchers, so now we don't got their help no more, and now this is where we are. So that's why, wooty bam. But that's what they say. I kind of believe it. It makes sense. I'm a conspiracy theorist, bro. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
I mean,
That's interesting to think about. I mean, it would make sense.
If you want more conspiracy content, though, let me know something, man. We can figure this out.
Golly.
If you were to house all these animals
Yeah.
and human life for how long was it?
40 days.
Well, it was raining for 40 days, but they're on there for like
so
9 months
got
or
it.
something.
Yeah, something like that.
I
That's
mean,
a
long
year,
enough
yeah.
for plant life to come back.
Yeah. And it's like you had to have some sort of system, like really advanced system. Like, because if you think of like, if you go back to like, I don't know, the Dark Ages, like, okay, build a really big boat that can house thousands of animals in human life for 9 months.
Yeah.
They would not be able to do that.
No.
I would love to know how
That
many.
makes sense, though, yeah.
How many, like, because, you know, species versus kind, I want to know how many were there. Like, in the time that's elapsed since
Yeah.
the Ark, 4,000-ish plus, no, way more, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. How many, like, you know, what could become a cat? What could become a
yeah.
lion? Like, what's the smallest denominator you get to, and how far back would that take?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, how do you crossbreed like a wolf to end up with a chihuahua?
Oh gosh.
Like, what do you have to do?
I don't think
I'm
that's.
sure
know
there's
what I'm
a
saying?
squirrel involved in there somewhere.
I really don't think it's.
How do you do that?
I don't know. I don't
I'm sure there's a squirrel involved in there somewhere. It's crazy.
know, man. I don't know.
I don't.
That's weird.
That is wild.
I don't. That's. I mean, to me, that's the Chihuahua and Great Dane thing. Like, I have a corgi, and she is 22 pounds at a year, and corgis go up to 40 pounds. So you think that literally within one breeding cycle, if you get a runt, you can cut the size of the creature in half.
Yeah, but you got to take a lot of runs from a wolf to come up with a chihuahua.
I mean,
Yeah.
every year.
Like
you,
I said, there's a squirrel in there.
Probably.
There's a coyote that had a weird idea one day.
Can you imagine if a coyote had an idea that? Never mind. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, though, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, subscribe. Big shout out to Sunday Cool. Make sure you tap in what they got going on, man. I really do enjoy their content. I watch a lot of it, man. So again, like, comment, subscribe, what they got going on. It's a lot of different things they got going on about space. The Ninjas of Butterflies podcast is a really good podcast. Psychic healing, pyramid, like it's so many things that. Hey, if you know. So let me know if y'all want to see more of this conspiracy content. But for now, be better today than what you were yesterday. Be even better tomorrow. But today, be at your best. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. And it's free. Avenue Angel 2. He's free. We got